It is a little bit before 7. It is a cool, overcast morning. Rained again last night. This was my solution. My backpack in there wrapped around the Tyvek sheet up on logs in case it flooded. And I didn't look or worry about it at all. This is also, I learned earlier, the high spot on the ground. You can tell this ground's still dry right there from when I had my Tyvek sheet under my hammock before. So yeah, that's a little trick I'll do again. My second favorite use of this is for gear dumps, as you can see everything. Good morning. Sorry if the lens is foggy. I've run out of dry things to wipe it off on. It is 8 o'clock. I have packed camp in about an hour. It always takes time when you're trying to pack wet stuff, and most of my stuff is currently wet after the heavy rains. I stayed dry. My dry clothes stayed dry. My insulation stayed dry. So the most important stuff did, but like my tarp is soaking wet, so you have to repack your bag to figure out where you're going to put wet stuff that got wet. I have not eaten breakfast. I plan to do that later. So I think what I want to do is hike to the shelter, the Eagle's Nest shelter, which means finishing this segment over King Mountain to the Jim Moffett. I'll let you know when I get there. Trailhead. And hiking up the back of Little Long Mountain, and then on the top of Little Long Mountain is the Eagle's Nest shelter, which was my target for last night. Should just be a mile and some change this morning, so we'll find out. Anyway, well, that's my path. That's the road that or trail I came down. This is the mark that indicates a sharp turn off a side trail. That was a 3/10 of a uphill climb I just did. And now I have a uphill climb to the top of Dark Mountain. It is a foggy morning after all that rain yesterday. Well, good morning. This is an eastern box turtle. Saw one of those the other day too. They come out after the rain. It's a relatively young one. They can live to be up to 100, and they never leave like a very small area that they consider their home. So you never want to pick up one and move it around, turn it in a different direction, things like that, because they will forever after spend their time looking for their home. Keep hearing things fall, but it's just tree branches from the wind. Probably see some deer though. I have seen some deer, but they took off before I got my camera out. This is rain. Interesting. I'll see if it's a passing shower or if it is something more persistent. Well, friends, had a final summit push, but I have reached King Mountain, elevation 1,020 feet. Super small, but as it said, it's the highest point on the UT, not the AT. And you know, these mountains are old, but they're still mountains, and they definitely still have elevation climb. I had one little final push there. I'm going to put the camera away because I recall this is a pretty precipitous downhill after a while. This southern slope of King Mountain has opened up a little bit brighter in spots and much rockier. So rocks and roots make this I don't know if technical is the right word. You just have to watch where your feet are going. You can't just put one foot in front of the other and trust you're going to find safe purchase with each step. why we continue down this precipitous drop off of King Mountain. All right, this section is just about finished. King Mountain is 1.1 miles back, Walker's Creek 4.8. All right. Uwharrie Trailhead. So the reason this one is special, this trailhead in the middle of nowhere, is because Mr. Joe Moffett was a scout leader around here in the 1970s. And it was he who conceived of the idea of a 40-mile trail to give his scouts the opportunity to earn a merit badge. So there's a memorial here to him, which we'll pause and take a look at. He's a good man. He wrote an interesting book of lore from these mountains, which is quite fun. All right, let's take a look here. Pines Church was where I started. When I started off the map. Came down Pines Church. I'm right here. I'm hoping to get down to here today. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see what the sign says up here. I do know that I'm close to Little Long Mountain. I got a little, yeah. Oh, somebody has stashed water. So somebody's hiking here. Went 8 miles, jumping off rock 3 miles. And that's a pretty easy 3 miles. So I should be able to knock this out in fairly short order, depending on how long I decide to spend on Little Long Mountain. Here we have a spring, both blue blazes and a sign. It's not the best of springs, but I have used it before. But this is the start, I think, of the zigzags, switchbacks up the backside of Little Long Mountain. Whew. Somebody has a sense of humor. This is going to be a fix my feet with some tape mode. If you look through the clouds, you may be able to see the mountain ridges that surround. This place is known for its 360-degree views. I kind of fear this might be rain clouds moving in. I don't know. But you guys opened it up enough to give us a little bit of a horizon view. But yeah, if you didn't know better, you just woke up here, you might think you were in Southwest Virginia. Now the other thing this area is known for, native prickly pear cactuses. They were blooming a month ago or so. Oh, I see sunlight on the ridge down there. Cloudy day. This is the Eagle's Nest shelter. It's actually a really nice Adirondack style shelter. Very clean, very well maintained. In memory of Barna Allen from Troy. I guess this Tony and Peggy Allen Clark donated the money for this. And over here, it was built by 230 out of Greensboro for Hampton Ruth's 2015 Eagle Scout project. So the Eagle's Nest is a pretty fitting thing. I don't understand the Spirit Bear welcomes you. The Spirit Bear is something from Pacific Northwest. At some point, some brave soul did Little Long Mountain here. That might go back to the 1970s. There you go. It's about 1,000 feet shorter than King Mountain that I passed. All right, this is a fairly straightforward downhill through some new forest burn down to an old forest road beside Poison Fork Creek, and then on to a trailhead, a jumping off rock and dark mountain. Ooh, pretty morning glories today. Trails that I did this morning that I had not done previously at Little Long Mountain at the shelter there. I worked on my left foot, which, owing to that long road walk where the crest of the road was slightly sloped to the left, it had rubbed my shoe up against it in a way that my right foot, which was more on the level part of the road, was not bothered by. So anyway, I put some Luca tape over that to protect it, and I also used a Deep Woods Off towelette on my legs to discourage ticks. This section of trail winds along Poison Fork Creek. I do not know why it's called Poison Fork. It's got these seasonal washes that are pretty on the sides. Now, the reason I say I do not know why it's called Poison Fork is because it is widely heralded as having some of the cleanest water in the Uwharries. And so I want to follow it for a quarter, half mile further. And then when I get to the crossing point, I want to pause. There's a little campsite down there. When I get to the crossing point, I'm going to pause and fill up my water if the bugs don't kill me. So filtering water. If you put this on loosely so air can escape, gravity does your work. It's a 3-liter container. We have another friend, another eastern box turtle. A girl, it looks like, a little bit older than the last one. Oh, this feels like rain. Will it last, or will it go? I can't get a whole lot wetter. All right, crossing the road after a rain shower. Get to watch your own wasps build a nest in there. All right, High Pines Church Road down to somewhere in there was where I camped down here was where I camped last night. Finished this off this morning, just knocked off this, hoping to knock off a whole hell of a lot more. The big push will be the next mountain, which is Dark Mountain. So my push to get the mileage in the teens is predicated on Dark Mountain being the most formidable remaining obstacle of the day. This is the portion of the trail that gets a bit gnarly, but also feels a whole lot like you're in the mountains, Appalachian Mountains. This is a pretty steep slope here, as you might be able to tell from the three blazes in quick succession. Yesterday I was thinking that the backside of King Mountain was the hardest part of the trail. It's one of them. I think Dark Mountain may take it. Tennyson Mountain later. We'll see. Below me is Dark Mountain Saddle. What I'm climbing is the West Summit. Makes you earn it. I gotta say, I feel pretty good, all things considered, about that climb, and still feeling okay about my ambitious mileage for the day. I don't know where I'll give out. We'll just have to find out. Hello, friend. Teeny tiny little one. Making the scale with my trekking pole tip there. What color eyes do you have? I can't tell. Have to look at it on replay. Yay! I love the box turtle. Portions of the day have been and probably will be spent under this umbrella. Knocked off the Dark Mountain segment in a rainstorm. Coming up on a road crossing, Thayer Road maybe, I don't remember. Getting ready to climb Forest Mountain, which is not too bad. Dark Mountain is worse. I have long since finished traversing Horse Mountain and went down pretty precipitously behind it. And I think I'm headed towards West Morris Mountain and all of that. But if I remember correctly, this trail should open up, the forest should open up, and I think it has a pretty exhilarating feeling of openness pretty soon. But I've got to get up out of the creek bottom. That's a monster beetle. Looks like he's trying to dry out just like me. All right. You can see what I mean about the forest opening up here. There's a breeze, a lot more light. On a day with lots of rain, it's frankly a lot less depressing. That's pretty cool. Decomposers doing their thing. All right, this is the trail down Morris Mountain. And it's pretty precipitous, and that is thunder. Ay, ay, ay. So I need to get down fast. 109 trailhead, 2 miles. That's about an hour, maybe a little less. West Morris Mountain Trail, West Morris CG Campground, 1.1 miles. All right. Onward. Wow! Chicken of the woods. Beautiful. Nice campground. I gotta keep moving. We'll leave it on for a second. Thunder's getting closer, which I don't like. But I don't really have an option other than continuing to hike. I started to say earlier I didn't want to be on Forest Mountain. And I should be at the bottom of it. And it'll be, oh, it's a little spook, little sketch. We're just going to need some work Nice creek. This is the campsite at Cattail Branch. I've had I guess it's technically a lunch break. It was a peanut butter and jelly burrito. What do you call them? Look at nature growing even as something else decays. Always amazing. You might be able to hear Cattail Branch in the background. It's about 20 feet straight in front of me. All right, I'm going to pick up this bag, and I know it's going to be an uphill slog here to 109, but I don't think it's that long. And from 109, I'm hoping at that trailhead that it will have the mileage to the shelter where I plan to spend the night. I started up here this morning. I've hiked to here. Somewhere in this 3-mile stretch, there should be my home for the night. Dusty Level Road, 2.9 miles. I believe it's just north of Dusty Level Road. So, obviously, this beauty, which is a non-venomous eastern rat snake, is the first snake I've seen on the trail. Yay! Beautiful. Always nice when you see them before they see you. I'm getting to one of the more dramatic parts of this section of trail that I recall. It's a precipitous descent down to a creek and to a camp down here. And I'll be crossing it and continuing on the far side. But it goes through these huge old jumbled boulders. On both sides. I'm watching my footing, so my apologies if the footage is not the best. Oh, that's a massive rock. I mean, it's probably 10 feet tall. It's pretty massive. All right, let's continue. This is my creek crossing, and I think with this creek crossing, I will be leaving behind this vegetation choked, thick, wet, super damp tunnels that I've been going through for a long time today. Hallelujah. Home for the night. This is Crystal's place, aka Home Sweet Home. Although I probably am going to sleep in my hammock tonight because I don't have a sleep pad to put on the floor, and it's not designed for hanging inside. But yeah, it's got a nice line here. It's got some hangs for food bags. I'll definitely put my food bag up there tonight. Keep the critters out. Got a clothesline, shoe scraper, which I've already used. The name. Really spacious interior. The 2 birds' nests in here as well. It's got a window, which is really thoughtful actually, to let some light in. And outdoor table here. Has slate, so that'll be where I'm cooking my dinner. A little seat, I guess, while you're thinking about cooking your dinner. Fire pit over here with picnic table. And my Zoleo, waiting to send a message to my spouse. Shelter shovel if you need it, I guess, to empty out the fire pit or whatever. Uwharrie Branch Shelter, a project of the Three Rivers Land Trust and Uwharrie Trail Blazers. So I guess I am close to Uwharrie Branch. So all day, let me do this so the sun is, the light is on me. All day I've been racing because first thing this morning at 8 a.m., I realized that there was water in the charging port for my phone, and it told me to remove it. It wouldn't put any electricity in. So that meant from the start of the morning, I had like 45% on my phone, and I was basically hustling to get here by the end of the day to keep the track of the trail, and also so I could message my wife on the Zoleo. And I got here with 8%, which is not much. Hopefully it'll dry out, and I'll be able to get a charge in it soon. Against the back wall, you can see I'm drying my tarp. Everything else is out of my backpack, spread all over the floor, which is nice to be able to have room. Even my umbrellas, the insoles out of my shoes. And then over here you got the drying. Hopefully the wind can help some. But got my shoes, got my pack, got my socks, got my bandana, got my shirt, which has never been dry since the first day. My Patagonia Houdini, which will probably be dry soon. My water, my hat, my washcloth, some gloves, working on my ground cloth here, and everything else is just, up and out of the way. Whew. I'm pooped. And it looks like I got some blisters. Ripped some tape off my feet, and it looks like I got some blisters on the inside of my big toes. So that will not be fun tomorrow. But I had a leisurely morning in camp. Took about 2 hours to sort everything and pack everything, which was useful in terms of organization. I had a horrendous road walk. The first couple miles were fine. The last mile and a half were just, I don't know. It was out in the sun. It was baking. It was just, it was hard. I did a really good job yesterday with monitoring the weather. Got a signal up at the parking lot, and I realized there were some very significant storms and a vast front that was moving in. It's going to take a while to rip through. What I didn't realize then, and beginning to realize now, is that I think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are all washouts. So I think I can expect more of the same tomorrow when I'm trying to get out of here. All right, bear with me here. We are, I don't know, somewhere around here. Somewhere around here. Tomorrow I'll go down and cross Dusty Level Road, and then kind of pick my way down this way to an intersection here with the Dutchman's Creek Trail. And I will go this way. My last big climb is going to be Dennis Mountain right here. And then I go here, skirt the bottom, go here, and back to the trailhead. So what I don't know is how far this is. But I'll find out tomorrow morning early when I get to Dusty Level Road. Well, for the first time in 2.5 days of rain, it's actually working for me, collecting fresh rainwater from the gutter into my pot for dinner. Well, actually it's going through my filter first, but I'm doing that just because there's a little bit more crud in the bottom barrel. Just wanted to show you a little bit more of the details that people thought about here. Notice these beautifully rounded wooden pegs. They go all the way around the whole interior. My hammock and my tarp are drying. And then over here, wasp and hornet killer, little table. Some of these chewed on sock. A journal. And you have down here spare tent bowls. A big broom. A cache from, looks like mice droppings in the corner. Some water. a broom, and more of those pegs. But up in the corner, you also have some bird's nests and a compass, a cheap plastic compass that somebody left. So pretty interesting. Looking forward to being dry tonight. Although this floor is just not going to be comfortable. There's nothing I can do. The total sum of my padding that I have is that piece of Reflectix. My quilts, if I want to use them for quilts, or do I want to use them for padding? Probably for quilts. And then my clothes, which I can use for a pillow. And I'll use my sit pad probably under my hip. Yeah. No better safe than sorry. Thunderstorms are predicted. Well, tonight in my Trail Designs Tie-Tri Caldera Cone Sidewinder, I am boiling water for ramen. Ignore my alcohol jars there. Obviously didn't have as much coffee or meals as I anticipated needing, so I didn't have to go into the second bottle. Probably should have just bought the first one, but part of what these thru-hikes are about is trying to figure that out. I may have some coffee tonight, actually. Fossil's plates, extra red hot, and soy sauce for that, which is a Thai curried tuna with ramen. When I noticed that my tarp and hammock were drying inside, I decided to move everything inside. This is a good idea, and I'm sure in a hot summer day it would dry faster out here with some breeze, but not today with the rain and thunderstorms.